979. Hoy tenemos invitados especiales, ellos son de Aerosmith y lógicamente los conocen. Tenemos a Steven Tyler and Joe Perry.
How are you doing?
Great. It's a great day. I'm glad to see you guys are so happy, so energetic. Love this.
Are you kidding? You know what kind of a roller coaster ride this band's been on? Oh my God.
Wow.
You know, is it day or night?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, exactly. Quickly, in Spanish, vamos a hacer una entrevista con los chicos de Aerosmith, pero lo vamos a hacer en inglés y luego vamos a pasarlo en español. What I'm saying is everything is going to be in English, and after the show, well, after you guys, we're done with the interview, we're going to do it in Spanish.
Beautiful.
Great. So, welcome to Costa Rica. It's the third time you're coming to Costa Rica. How does it feel? How are you guys?
I've been here like 2 other times, but I snuck in.
That's what I heard.
I sneaked out down to the Four Seasons.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
And how do you do that?
Oh, I just
Wearing a wig?
wear a wig and a tutu.
Great. Let's talk about music from another dimension. By the way, I love the name of the album. How do you guys come up with these names? Is it you guys or someone comes and says, this is what it got to be?
Somebody says something and we take ownership right away.
So, music from another dimension. Why music from another dimension? I mean,
Because it's the first album we've done together as a band.
Yeah.
So we got together and we realized, oh my God, all the time we fight because of the things we say to each other,
Right.
but we speak the same language in music.
Exactly.
So that kind of music, you can't define it until you weave it all together and we put this together and that. And then when we look at it and listen, we go, oh my God, we did it again because it's music from another dimension.
There you go. And you have to keep doing it because everyone loves Aerosmith. Now, this is the deal. You guys have so much experience when it comes to producing, writing songs, composing the songs. How, with this album, was it different? Was it, how was the whole process coming back together and working on it?
Well, actually, this record was supposed to be honking on vocal. I mean, when
Love that album, by the
we
way.
first got together to do, we've been wanting to make this record for, it's been 11 years since the last one. We've been wanting to make this record for probably 8 years now.
Wow.
And, one thing after another, touring, medical things, whatever. It just never happened. But so we got together with Jack and we said, well, let's make this record, which was going to be this one. And we didn't have quite enough time. But one of the things we've always wanted to do was a blues record. Play all the old songs that we used to love,
Right.
Roadrunner and Baby Please Don't Go, all those kind of songs. And so we did that with Jack. And what we got out of that was, it was a lot of fun to work with Jack again, because we made all our records in the 70s with him. So this time, it was like, let's call Jack up again and let's see, now we got the time.
Okay.
Stephen was on American Idol.
Right.
The studio was like 10 minutes away from where he had to be. He'd leave American Idol, he'd go over to the studio and Jack and I would be there waiting and
Jacking off.
Having fun.
making working.
That's
on
off.
tracks.
He's Jack.
And he would do both gigs, we'd be there until 2 or 3 in the morning, working on this record.
Cool. Now, Honkin' and Bubble, you talked about this track, this album. By the way, I love the way you guys, came up with an Aerosmith version of all these songs that a lot of people know. It's blues. We have a blues show here on 97.9. It's called Nothing But the Blues, and we do play Baby Please Don't Go and some other tracks from that album. Why you guys, how did that come to be? I mean, you said you wanted to do something like that for a while, but what about Honkin' and Bubble? Did everyone come together and say, let's do it, or you have to convince each other? How did that
It might have been Joe. We've been talking about it forever, but when the time came, and Joe, the best of my recollection, he brought it up and the time was right. We've always wanted to pay tribute to the roots from whence we came, but we dug awful deep for that one.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there that
It's very different.
Some
It's
of
very
them were songs we used to play in clubs, some of them, and then there were other ones. We actually there was one song on there that we wrote that was brand new. It was kind of like, everything we do is based in the blues.
Right.
All the music that we hear today is based in the blues. If you really follow it down to the old days, So it was kind of like, again, returning to your roots and playing music that's really exciting. Only we didn't write the songs, but hey, some people would say it's not our job to write the songs. All we got to do is play them. So we had a great time doing it, we had a party doing it, we actually did it down in my basement.
Wow.
And all the guys were there, we were in a room not much bigger than this, all playing, the drums were right there, the amps were there, Steve was singing right there, and we just cut it loose like we used to.
Have fun. Okay, now that
Take
you
it
said-
down to where it connects. like we
Exactly.
say.
Now that you said old school, going back in the day, Run DMC, you guys had that song "Walk This Way," broke barriers. I've read around, and everyone says that that was the first track where you had a collaboration between hip hop and rock. That at that time, there was a lot of things going on between whites and blacks and all that stuff. That's really nonsense to me. But how it broke barriers. Have you guys ever thought? First of all, did you ever think that was gonna be a big song the way it is, the way it was, and it came?
I just watched that movie Oprah and Lenny Kravitz were in called,
Oh, the Hunger Games.
no, not
Oh,
The
oh.
Hunger Games.
Butler.
Well, Lenny Kravitz was there. I'm sorry.
The Butler?
The Butler.
Oh, true.
And there really is a wall between black and whites.
Still is.
Unfortunately, all over the world. It's not just black and whites, it's everybody that's got a hair across their ass. Unfortunately, in the United States and in the world, it's bad, And so we're grateful that we got a chance to literally break the wall down between. It was Rick Rubin's idea. They were scratching to the song. Rick suggested to them they do the song. They said, no fucking way, at first.
Okay.
Rick talked him into it, and then we got a guy named John Small to do the video, and he was the one to actually put a wall up between them practicing
Okay.
and us practicing.
Iconic, by the way.
And when I turned, it was like, what is that noise? Whoa, 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 whoa. That's, and I acted surprised and took the microphone and broke the wall down. He actually had that in mind, so
And
it was beautiful.
Just to show, just what Stephen was saying, that was the first video, besides a Michael Jackson video, where they played black
That's where I
artists
was
on MTV.
Right.
Which was like, again, we didn't know that. I mean, this was a thing that happened step by step. It wasn't like any plan, that we had. It was like Rick came up with one idea, then another, and another, and just followed down. But when we heard that, we didn't really realize that, we're not sitting around watching MTV all the time.
Right.
But the fact I take a lot of pride that we were involved in that, even though it wasn't our idea. The fact that our music, blended with theirs. And then when I first heard hip hop, I said, well, that's blues right there. And they're singing about their heart, they're singing about what's going on in the street, what's on the street corner, all that stuff. And when, so it was the direct lineage. So the only problem was there was no guitars in it,
Right.
Oh, and Joe Perry made up for that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Rick invited us, and I thought he wanted me to sing, but Joe brought a bass and his guitar because the other guys
I
were.
didn't bring the bass. I thought they just wanted my guitar, but then during the session, Rick said we should have a bass on it, and I said, well, I don't bring a bass, but there were some guys hanging around in the studio.
Yeah, called.
These kids, these 19, 18-year-old kids, just kind of hanging out, and we're going, well, who are they?
Then we
They're
borrowed
just
a
somebody's friends, and it turned out they were the Beastie Boys.
Oh, great.
And they lived right around the corner, and one of them went and got his bass and brought it over, and I played bass on it. And
So all the planets kind of united to make
Yeah.
this track happen. And did you guys ever think that it was going to be so big that it was going to be iconic? No.
No, as Joe said, we didn't know that, that they were keeping blacks off TV. I didn't know that. We weren't studying it like that. We weren't looking at it that way, but it was just, as it's turned out, we're so grateful. I am personally, I've always had a hair across my ass about how
Yeah, it's
whites treated blacks, and so grateful to be part of that, so grateful.
great. Now, speaking of this song, have you guys ever thought of, doing another collaboration in that manner? Not with Run DMC, maybe someone else. Any names out there, maybe?
You never know.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
So great. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about, how we have bands and artists, that they endorse a certain products and stuff. I saw that Joe, you have your hot sauce. It's called Boneyard Brew, right?
Yeah.
And more than endorsing it, I've been reading that the coolest thing about it is that you were involved in the making of this sauce, correct?
well, obviously, why not? I'm surprised when people ask me that, because because, I mean, I wouldn't put my name on it
Right.
unless there was something there. And, you know, when I first started making, mixing different things together, and then I said, I want to make some of this so I can give it to my friends. And then, I found a small company, and then we started putting it in bottles. But again, it was one of those things that just kind of, one thing led to another, and now it's starting to be a lot more people are liking it.
And you also have that
So
sweet and
you-
spicy.
Oh, please.
That's a mango peach tango, right?
That's my favorite, but he's so used to setting women's hearts on fire, he figured he would set their mouths on fire. Me, myself, I'm looking forward
Let me tell
to.
you gotta be careful what you do with your tongue after you've eaten some of the hot stuff.
Oh yeah?
Definitely have to.
Now I know a lot of people have ideas.
I bet a few
I'm
girls
gonna get
have
some
to-
of that for my girl.
I'm working with a company called Eau de L'Eau Tide, and I'm thinking of putting out a perfume called Come to Me. That way, when I put it on, I can invite the girls up and
Come to
say,
me.
does it smell like come to you? Folks,
So
That's gonna translate.
that's gonna be.
okay.
You know what?
You go for that one.
I want to know how you're gonna market that. That's gonna be something special.
Very easy. I'll go from town to town.
Coming to everyone.
Coming to everyone. Coming to a theater near you.
Oh, that's great. That's so crazy.